Welcome, 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 everybody. Come on in the room. Come on in the room. I want you to get in here, get in here, get in here. I know that there are so many things to talk about that's happening in the atmosphere right now. And it is absolutely a miraculous day. First of all, we want to talk about how and what you are doing to program your day. So hopefully you've taken advantage of this energy that we are looking at. First of all, the summer solstice alone is such a powerful energy. I'm gonna give myself some more light here. The summer solstice alone is such a powerful energy to reset and to do self-care alone. Just the summer solstice, a lot of people just move through this time and ignore the solstice. But on top of that, we today is a day that many of us have never seen before, depending on your age. And if you have seen it, this thing called a kazemi. So we're going to talk about the kazemi. um, and also some other special guests are going to join us as well on this special day, and you'll hear more about the mother tongue, which is our summer reading room series. So last night we had a test run. Well, actually the last 2 weeks we've done a test run on TikTok, and we had a powerful night last night. I listened and heard things from the sisters, and they spoke into existence some new things. Yeah, so I am I'm excited about this day because I can't wait for them to get on here to share more with you. Um, so let me just get this invitation out. I've been running ever since I started. I prayed twice, for once for IVTV today, and then we have our special mothership prayer circle where we are intentional about using our own tongue to call in and to pull down strongholds regarding our own feminine and to tap into this mother matrix that we are in right now in this season. So if you want to know more about that, we'll talk about that as well. Um, so let me get the tribe in here who is spoiled. They have to have a notice uh, to get in here. So I'm sending that notice out to them right now. And let me see, let me get it out. Yep. Yep. Okay. So that went out now, letting everybody know. Hey, okay, Megan is here. Come on in the room. All right. And so, Shanice, let us know if you're going to be joining us. I think that you were a part of the conversation last night as well. But let me go on as other people get the link. Um, can I want to go on and talk about this Kasimi. This is a day of miracles, y'all. The Cassimi is Jupiter moving into the heart of Cancer. So this is a very favorable time for those of you who are Cancers or water signs. This is, and also Leos, because Leo always is in touch with the sun. This is going to be one of those new moons of the year. You know, today is the new moon with and so this new moon in Cancer is going to be one of the most favorable days of this year to reprogram your reality. That means write it down. That means ritual. That means take a moment and pause if you haven't already done it, if you haven't already sung it, if you haven't already prayed it, if you haven't already spoken it into existence. Today is the day to do it. So this is an open portal, which is an open invitation to the planet and the inhabitants thereof. Karen, if you want to get on, please look inside of the heartbeat group. There, the link is there. I don't have time to text you directly to your phone. I don't know that it will come anyway. But I want you to come up, you know, And so, anyway, so the Kasimi, I want everybody to say this word Kasimi, Cazimi, Kasimi. The Kasimi, it is today. It's an open portal. And this is a time if you've been lazy, spiritually lazy, lackadaisical, a little pessimistic about the astrology, this is the day not to be. This is the day to write it down. Get out your journal, get out a vision board, even sit down with your children and and do the family vision. Talk about vision. Um, so this is the day to literally use your imagination. You all know that in Rebirth Sunday, the first Sunday of the month, we focus on the 12 powers of man, and this month is the month of imagination. What a powerful month. Let me see if I can get it over here so you can see it. To focus on use your imagination through meditation, which pulls on your third eye. And so, and thank you for all of those who joined the prayer this morning. Thank you for saying that. Beachy Peachy Pie. I don't know, who were you in the group? This Beachy Peachy Pie throws me off. Is this Marcita? Okay, let me keep going. So even though there is some chaotic squares in the atmosphere, this is so favorable for us that you want to take the time to play some music, burn some incense, do what you need to do to get yourself into a zone. Um, Let me see if I can really quickly. I know I spoil everybody, and so it's my fault. I blame me. Okay, so I'm gonna go inside our private group to Karen because she claims that she's technically challenged. So Karen, check inside the private group right now to join. Okay, and Tony, Janae, Dana, if you are watching, you can check WhatsApp. You have your link there. Okay. So let me come back in and get into this Kazemi. The Kazemi energy. Um, I poured out a lot in planning with the planets, but this is the one thing that we did not get a chance to talk about it, to talk about. Okay. Um, So the square to Saturn in this new moon is reminding us to slow down, to take the time, to make the time. If you feel like you don't have time, that's not what you want to program for the rest of this year. Whatever the desires are of your heart. And in fact, I said to people on IVTV, don't talk about what you don't want. This is not the season to be talking about, well, well, I want to release. No, no, no. A new moon is not about releasing. A new moon is about calling in, calling forth, setting intention. A new moon is about your affirmation. I know you're working, so if you just put the camera on you and we just keep on going and you jump in when you want to. So this new moon alone speaks of expansion. It speaks of community. So where in your family do you need to be healed? Where does your family need to a breakthrough? This would be the time to look at this, at calling it forth for yourself, for your family, and so on and so forth. Okay. So we're going to keep going. Let me see. All right, good. We have everybody. Let me see if there's more. I don't want to go too deep. What I can say, and I guess I'm not saying I don't want to go too deep. It's not too deep. This is an action. This is a verb. This today is not a day to just be woo woo about the day and talk about the day. This is a day to pull out your journal, set your intentions, call in affirmatively the desires of your heart, but don't just think on a low level about what you don't have. So like for instance, if you're single and you want a partner, call in the marriage, call in the successful relationship, see the outcome.
Ooh.
Don't just call in um Oh, I want love, being general. A lot of times spiritual people get lost in the generality. So this is where you want to be specific. You want to be specific. So if you and also you want to stretch yourself, you know, stretch yourself outside of um your daily operations. Some of you are destined for something so much bigger, but you won't call it forth. You focus on the how. A lot of times we think about, well, I want to be a property owner, but I need the money. So you'll call in, let me get the funding. No, no, no. Call in specifically what you want for that and something more. Okay. So
Mm.
this is the Kasimi. The Kasimi energy is meant for you to use it for your business, for conjuring. When we talk about being a conjuring woman, you
Mhm.
conjure also by pulling up your joy. What does that mean? This is the day to take dance breaks. This is the day to make love. Do you know how to use sex magic to call in the desires of your heart? Do you, because this is the day, honey, to be talking about the sex magic, using the sex magic, whether that's solo sex or whether that is partnered sex. This is where sex becomes spiritual. It's ceremony. It's used for visioning. Okay, let me see. What else do I need to tell you? Because I'm assuming that a lot of you have been doing the work with us. The women in the community, we know this. So this is also a time to declutter your space, right?
Mm.
You need to clean up. Things oftentimes can't manifest because we are in clutter, we're in chaos. This might be a good time to, if you are in breakdown with someone in your relationships, meaning you are fighting, you are have a silent war. See, feel, and imagine the atonement of your relationships during this time, because Cancerian energy is about the family business, the family legacy, the family um, communication. So this is the time. Now, Bessie, you got to come on camera, baby. You can't just come in the back office. You got to come up. You got to come up on camera. So, are you ready for that? If not, release the spot so somebody else can come on board. But we want you because you're an OG in the juicy community. Okay. We want you to get on in here. Get in here, get in here, get in here. All right. So this is going to be a powerful this is the kind of seeding of a new vision that comes to pass, and sometimes you forget that you planted the seed. So you want to be specific, so specific that when it shows up, you know that it is because you ritualed on today for it to show up. This is also a time to relax, to receive Reiki, to receive massage therapy. This is a self-care, self-indulgent day. In fact, today I may be going to take a nap because I've been going, and not and anybody been following my post on Facebook, you saw me talking about that Peloton. Honey, my Peloton experience will preach. Okay, because now I can feel my body working out. And I do want to say to my menopause ladies, look, I can feel a calm in my body from this workout. Now, the reason why it will preach and it's perfect for Cancerian season is because I was making a decision at first based off of price. You know how when you go to church or you go into some and you say it don't take all that, when you see people praising, it don't take all that. So when I saw the Peloton, I thought to myself, it don't take all that. Because I'm anti iPhone. I'm not really. I will buy a Mac. There's nothing better than a Mac, in my opinion.
Uh,
But But them iPhone and the way y'all have such a cult mindset, it reminds me of bondage. People who in bondage and don't know they're in bondage. You don't know you in bondage until you leave iPhone. And you can upload memory to your phone, you can add memory, you can do things to it. Well, listen, with this Peloton baby, I was gonna make a decision that would have been settling based off of money. How many times have you settled based off of money and only to find out there was so many ways for me to purchase, to rent, to get what I wanted. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm telling you, I had been working out consistently days prior. I made myself a goal, which I'm giving you free game in terms of setting your vision. I said, I got to work out consistently so that when I make the investment, I know that I'm going to use it. I'm not going to squander my own investment. So I had been working out, right? And I was enjoying my workout. I was sweating and I was going for the time period. But baby, when I made a real investment in myself, when I had to sacrifice a little bit, my whole body is being where I think that's what happens when you come to do work in the rebirth community, is that y'all be going with them coaches that scratch on the surface level. And then when you come and have a full body feminine experience, you realize, oh my God, I thought I was working out. I thought I was doing the work until, well, that's how I feel with this Peloton. And that ties correctly in with this Kasimi day. So the new moons are about new beginnings, planting intentions. Planting seeds, setting intentions. How do you plant a seed? You do a demonstration. No, beachy peachy pie. It does not feel effortless. She said, does it feel effort? It feels effortless, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. And look, I got into the room with the wrong trainer this morning. Yesterday was amazing. I was in love with Peloton. You know, when you're in a new relationship, you're in love, you're in the honeymoon period. But today I came out the honeymoon period real quick, because I went into a session with it was called a power session. And baby, that 45 minutes, I was on TikTok live. I said, y'all don't leave the room. Keep on encouraging me. I needed some encouragement the last 15 minutes. So no, it does not feel good. I've never used cleats, but that's the point. Sometimes getting to your juicy, getting to your manifestation does not always feel good. It's stretching muscles that I have not been using. So this also may be required for you to manifest the desires of your heart, because this is about, we're in a season of illumination. You may be focused on the exposure, but this is also the season of illumination, where you have new understanding. What's up, Monique? That's the real OG, team rebirth. Monique, y'all know your Monique, who is one of our team rebirth members, who's always on call. You don't see her all the time, but she's in here. All right, so use this day. It's not much more to say about the new moon, except you all got to get in community, because I already taught it in planning with the planets. So if you are in the portal, I will be posting links for Monday, planning with the planets. And I also will be posting a link from today's prayer circle, so that you can get in on the energy and make your decrees right there in the group today. Okay. And Monique, get yourself in the portal. So I want to introduce you. Megan, introduce yourself. Karen, introduce you. Well, let's start with Megan, and then we'll go to Karen. And this is a nice mix, because we have a juicy she rose. We have the sacred juice, completion, and then we have a OG juicy butterfly. Okay, come on, bring in the juice.
Okay, well, my name is Megan, and I'm coming from California. I'm representing for the West Coast. Juicy She Rose. magic master manifester and
Yes.
bringing all of the feminine energy in here to grow, to offer, and to be a part of the ascension of us all.
Ashe. Come on
All
now.
right.
Then, Karen, you want to go next?
Well, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Well, I am the grandmother, as you can see. I'm a hairstylist, hairstylist extraordinaire, so they affectionately call me grandmother. And I'm here. I've been with Juicy now for since 2018, right in time when I needed her. And honey, this thing gets juicy. It gets juicy, baby. Just say it's a wonderful time to be alive.
Ashe. All right. Megan, you didn't say what you do. You want to say what you do?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I create jewelry. It's called palatial jewelry. That is now my expanding business, and I also worked in the financial industry as my 9 to 5.
Okay, now, so you can talk to us a little bit about money.
I
All right.
surely can.
Now you sure pretty good, baby.
Okay, good. All right, Bessie, come on in the room, girl. Tell to everybody who you are.
So now you just live every day. I'm not gonna do all pick it all out though.
Bessie, tell everybody who you are. I'm taking you off mute. Well, you got to unmute yourself, actually. Did that work? Hello? Did that work? Come on, Bessie. All right. Well, I see you're off mute. All you got to do is talk. You can hear me? Barely. Yeah, there's a bad signal. Hi, I'm Bessie. I'm an OG from Juicy Butterfly. She says she's an OG Juicy Butterfly. So Bessie also works in the tech industry, and hopefully you can join the discussion, Bessie. So Karen, you want you can you well you I see you working. Megan, you want to do a wrap of last night about our from our TikTok live?
Yes. So we were discussing the oh, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm gonna have to mute Betsy because of
Okay.
background noise.
Yeah. So we were talking about Dr. Latanya, your book, The Juicy Rebirth. And with that, there was a calling from the group for us to spend July focusing on the juicy rebirth. So for those of you who don't already have her book, please go get it. You can get it from Amazon. I believe you're also now being called to do a reprinting and restocking for yourself. And let's see what else. We just realized that there's a lot of us, even though depending on where you are in your journey, you've done a lot of work, but you're now in a new place. So what does this book bring for you in your next level of healing, of your next level of ascending, of your next level of calling in what you need in your life for your desires? And yeah, it was just right. It was like a this we didn't know we were walking into, but it was a resounding like, no, please don't move on to another book. This is what we need.
Yeah, so last week I gave you all the list of books, and I said, "Oh, we'll just start with my book for the last week in June, and we'll go into the next books, and we'll change every 2 weeks." And so as we started talking about the book, Megan was sharing how she had had the book for 5 years, and then Karen pulled something, a favorite or a part that touched her. Tamara, your link is inside of the Heartbeat app. I would love for you to share, because and then Tamara also shared a segment in the book that I had to go look for, that I forgot that I wrote. And then after a while, it was almost as if spirit was just using the ladies to say, no, we don't want to move on to another book, let's go. And so they said they want to do Juicy in July, but I want to do a compromise. I want us to do, we can do my book, but I also still want you to get the other books, because that's a long time for a whole month just to do Juicy. And I know we could. And then they started using this Cassini new moon energy to speak Juicy tours.
Yep. And an audio book, because then you can add
Oh,
your extra juice on it.
yes, and yes, 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 yes. So so that being said, we said we were going to come out here on the main stage and let everybody know, so that one, you can knock the dust off of your book. Two, order it on, you can order it on Amazon. You should have it in 3 days. If you try to order it from me, it's going to take much longer because I'm very low in supply. And then they got on my case and told me I need to order some more books. And I even, Megan is saying she's going to help me with maybe getting this thing down off of Amazon. Let me just say to you, authors, don't put your book on Amazon. Do not put your book. I know it's convenient. I know it's easy, but you lose. I don't get a lot of the money, by the way. Okay. At this point, I might be getting $3 or $4 from my book sales on Amazon. That's a whole nother discussion. And I will maybe bring someone who specializes in this. It's a a rookie mistake. I didn't know. And a lot of us were excited to have our books on Amazon. When you've been a writer, a lot of us, but when we start talking about big corporations, then that's when we run into this. But for the convenience of it all, get the book. How many of you in the comments, you have the book? Those of you who are watching, how many of you have this book? Now, the thing is, everybody made me realize that because I was working on Fix My Life when I did my book launch, I didn't do a tour. I didn't do live readings. There was a lot of opportunities that where I just didn't do because I was working on Fix My Life. So it feels like y'all are calling for a reset. Well, Monique, I know you have the book. You were at the book launch. Okay, good. Beachy Peachy Pie. I just love saying that. Beachy Peachy Pie. Okay, so what do you all want to share today that stuck out for you in the discussion last week? Because do you all like the name The Mother's Tongue? Because we're going to be using all of these authors on our list who are talking from this place of the divine feminine centered in the great cosmic mother. Or do y'all want it to just be juicy talk? Because Tamara went and made a whole flyer for me. Y'all are serious about this thing. Tony just was able to join us. Tony, introduce yourself before I let somebody else say something. And tell us who you are, what you do, and where you are. Hey, Yanaza. Okay, she may have had to get up. All right. So um, we said we were going to come on here today. Is there anything that we want to look at in terms of putting into this potent, fertile energy from Juicy, even? And why you think people should join the book club? Oh, actually, we're not calling it a book club because this is no ordinary book club. I see this as the reading room, much like when you come to get a reading from an oracle, because many of these women, including myself, are channeling this information through us. Okay. All right. Tamara says she can't join, but that's okay. So we'll keep going. Why do you think we need to do this? And this was Tony's idea. by the way. So this is really being born through Tony, and we're gonna do it on TikTok. So Tony, you want to tell us who you are and why you think we should do this? Are you frozen? Unmute. Trying to unmute. Oh, only one was left on Amazon. They say that, but it's a lie. They have a direct connection with printing. Bessie, you can't see the comments, but Monique is excited to see you. All right, we're waiting for Tony to talk. I can't unmute you. The way this is set up, you have to unmute yourself. Let me see. Did I lie? Yeah, you have to unmute you. I just tried. Greetings, Francis. Okay, I appreciate you loving Juicy Talk. Now, how many of you that are watching are new to Juicy? This thing called Juicy. Can Karen, can you, were you ever resistant to Juicy and Talking Juicy? Tony, let us know when you're ready. You're on mute, babe.
Sorry. Yes, of course. I came from, well, I'm just going to speak for me. I came from came from the church, from being deep in the church, deep in religion, and had hit a hard wall called a divorce.
Uh,
And so I was, but before then, I was resistant to the things that I would hear Dr. Latanya say on her social media pages because we are from the same hometown. So, of course, me being religious and being from the South, then there was some resistance. There
so
was.
everybody talked about having a little bit of resistance. Is anybody in the chat having resistance to this thing called Juicy? You
It's
think it's
okay if you have to. I mean, it's okay
right?
if
It
you
really
have.
is okay. Absolutely.
I
Hell,
get it.
I had resistance to
Hmm.
writing it.
I can
Okay.
believe that. I can believe that. I'm glad you fought your way through.
Yes. Okay, Bessie, can we hear from you? Or are we just gonna watch you drive? Did you have resistance, Bessie, with the whole Juicy concept? I had a lot of resistance, not just from a religious standpoint, but just from growing up in a family where, you know, anything that had anything to do with sexuality was not spoken. Yeah, we can't hear you. I heard you say that you had a lot of resistance from a religious standpoint. Anything that has to do with something, I couldn't hear. It's a lot of background noise.
Yeah, just for the car.
And I don't want
I,
you to drive and pick up the phone. They got the
if
note.
you have, yeah, I'm sorry. If you have headphones, basically, it'd be better if you speak through the headphones instead of the car.
Yeah, do you have
It's
headphones? The car is usually the worst place to join a live or Zoom, y'all. Just
yeah.
FYI. I appreciate it, but it usually ends up distorting the sound and
Hmm.
you don't ever get to fully express yourself. You can do it on social media, but Zoom and these platforms, it does not work well. So get yourself together. We want to hear from you, Bessie. I'm gonna just wait till you ready. Let me know when you're ready. I can still see you, and I'll bring you back up when you get your headphones and you're able. Tony, are you able to unmute? Dana said that she got called to an impromptu meeting and she will be joining as well.
Did she get? She's frozen. Is Tony frozen? Oh no, that's okay. I can't hear her.
No, no, no sound. You have to click your right at the. Oh, it looks like you took it off.
Can you?
Yeah, you're off mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. It's been going in and out, so I wasn't sure what was happening. Hello, everybody.
Hi, hey Tony.
Hey. So tell us who you are and why you thought we needed the reading room.
So I'm Tony LeRae.
Uh oh,
Baby, something trying to show
it
enough. Keep
went
this
out.
good juice from coming through, ain't it?
Yep, we can't hear you. It went out. So, and let me see. Are you on mute? No, you're not muted. It just must be your reception. Okay. All right. Bessie, are you ready?
I don't think you can hear me
Okay. Yes, we can hear you a little better.
a little better. Oh, I said my resistance came from not only the religious background, being in the church and being an ordained minister, but also from growing up in a household where anything that had to do with sensuality, femininity, anything was not spoken of.
She said that anything having to do with sensuality was not spoken of. And I will tell you all that the women who started out in the Juicy program oftentimes came because they were trying to break through that barrier of their regarding the limitations around their sensuality. I think that the new program, the new rites of passage program that Megan reflects, is much more than sensuality. This is even and even though this book, another reason why I think I want another cover on the book is because when you really get into this book, this is kind of like a bait and switch. Yes, yes, you deal with your limitations, and yes, we talk orgasm, but this is a spiritual book. This is about you tapping into the deep part of your womanly arts and science beyond just orgasm. You could go to some of these young millennials to talk about just orgasm and techniques. Would you? I know you don't have the reference of the past, Megan, but would you say completing the Juicy She Rose journey would that it was just centered on sensuality?
Oh, not at all. It's the totality of who I am. And I've gone through other processes prior to going through the juicy process. And it was like, though, to your point, it not that those weren't deep and they were admittedly a little bit past scratching the level, but never to the totality of the feminine. So I've done women
Mm,
focused things, and I've done a lot of, different spirituality and kind of getting into the root, but never like this. It's even to the point when I'm trying to describe it to people, I'm like, give me a moment to describe this to you, because there's not a one sentence that can wrap this up. It's like everything you never thought of, but you really need is a part of this process. And it's not just about being a woman, it's about the feminine, it's about your soul, it's about your spirit, it's about your childhood, it's about everything also. But it's like how to have fun, because that was one of the things I walked away with, is like, I need to loosen up. And I know you told us that a couple of times, but I've always had this sense of like, when doing certain processes, you have to be so serious. And this really taught me that there's a freedom in the joy, there's a freedom in the pleasure. And the pleasure, yes, could be sexual and sensual, but it's also how you pray. It's also how you free yourself. It's also how you come into community. It's also how you offer yourself. It's how you walk down the street. It's bringing out your joy and your fun. And there's like, that's just been um that's that. I mean, that's just, I can't even find the word, but that's been so freeing for me. Is being able to just show up as the totality of who I was. And I will tell you that just from 6 months ago, if I wrote a bio about myself versus my understanding of who I am and how I show up now, it's so different. And I've done so much work for so many years, but in 6 months,
mhm.
yeah. So a long story long, because that wasn't short.
Oh no, that was good. No,
That's good.
I thought that was excellent,
That's
actually.
good.
Yeah, because how do you describe something that's custom to your life? It's
Mm-hmm.
it's not one size fit all. We have a
Right, right, right.
process, but it's not one size fit all. So
Mhm.
Tony, can you talk now? Are you able to speak?
I think so. I had to come outside of that building with all of that protection, I
Security?
guess.
Yeah. So tell us why
So I
you
was
felt like we
saying,
should do this reading room book club and that type of thing.
right. So one of the reasons why I felt that it was necessary is because I felt like it would be another extension of who we are. It would be an opportunity to educate and involve beyond the walls of our community, right? It's like we're going into the streets outside of the church walls,
Yeah,
because there are so many women,
that's true.
because there's so many women that need it but don't know that it's available. And I think by putting it on a platform that is so open to so many people across the world, it is actually global, that we can definitely impact lives like never before. And I think this is the season for the mother. And there are
I
mothers
bet.
all over the place that don't recognize who they are. So I thought that this would be a great opportunity to nurture ourselves while nurturing others.
That's true. Yes. That's good. That's good. So we are insulated. A lot of people don't even know what I do, be honest with you. They see me on the public stages and things like that, public platforms, but I'm not a real salesy kind of coach. I'm not a salesy minister to get you in my programs, right? I really do feel like the call is intimate and the answer is intimate. And then our community is intimate. And
Yeah.
some people have fallen off because they came only for a surface level thing, but not this woman. The woman that is coming now is coming to be in community with her sisters, to pay it forward for other women, and to be a voice. In fact, these are the juicy ambassadors. They pretty much ordained themselves last night. Karen is one of the first ones. Okay, so I'm gonna give,
Definitely the OG.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple of comments. Beachy Peachy Pie says, I do have a great background with women in my family walking, talking, and living in their gifts. So they have been very open about women's energy and juicy, by the way. Love this word, by the way. Okay,
I
awesome.
do too.
Y'all don't know, I almost was gonna retire Juicy. I really was. Tony will probably saw me in this last year, was like, I'm not doing no more 7-week programs. I'm going back to the 6 month model. Then I wasn't gonna do Juicy at all before that until I got convicted. And that's a whole nother type of spiritual phenomena that's hard to articulate to
Mhm.
someone who is just looking on. Until you've experienced this technology, you will know that there's something so supernatural, so ancestral, that is beyond me. Okay, so that's the other thing. So Tamara said, it's like having a little feminine Bible guiding me, soul to soul, that has shaped me into the woman that I have become. What? Wow, such an honor.
Tamara is so poetic. You know that? I love it. She is so poetic.
Tamara, you hear that? She needed to hear that.
She is. She a feely girl. I love it.
Yes. And then Sabrina said, Juicy is an experience that keeps on giving. I appreciate that. I'm
Mm.
so glad
Oh,
to hear
that's good.
that. Okay. Beachy Peachy Pie said, no, don't retire it. You've created a juicy circle in motion. Actually, I'm not retiring it. It's time for me to pass the baton. You will be receiving from women who go from ambassadorship to being facilitators. But right now, the true mothers that will be forwarding this is Mama Tony, Mama Dana, and Mama Janae, because Spirit has given me something else that is deeply embedded in feminine shamanism, and I will be birthing that this year. and it is only open to those who have gone through the first two levels. And so, in order for me to deliver this baby, and I am also creating the program at Hillside University, which is next level for people to get metaphysical bachelor's, master's, and PhDs. So if you are a minister watching and you want to take this to another level, you should see me so that you can consider enrolling in the fall to be ordained, or to experience an advanced level to get your master's degree. So while I'm doing this, I'm also birthing that with, but the good news there is I have a team. We have deans and that are shaping the trans personal psychology area. So I that's why really this is Tony's brainchild, and I'm saying yes, let's do it. Okay, so that's enough from me. Um, Tamara said, "I'm so happy I continue to bug you year after year." Yes, she has. She has chosen me as, but before I even got. I won't tell your business. Never. Okay. Let me.
Okay, so I wanted to say something about the cover. I was walking and getting myself settled when you said something about the cover. Let me tell you what the cover is to me. You remember, and we've talked about this too. You remember when we were little and aunties and well, maybe mama's friends or the ladies group is at the house visiting mama,
Mm-hmm.
and they in there talking that girl stuff in the other
Yes.
room.
Yes. Yes.
You easing down the hallway to try to get a little listen.
Yes.
Okay, you know they all gathered in there and they cackling and laughing and ran back, and you know with some stuff in there they talking about. That's
Yes.
what this you want to see. That's what this cover is. We don't change the cover. We don't change the
Tony
cover.
told me to do another. Do what did you tell me? Volume two.
Even the ladies in the church be peeping.
Oh yeah, the
They
ladies
peeping.
and don't count out the 60 and 70-year-old ladies. They telling me
No.
that they need this book and they need it just like
Ooh.
this because they're doing this. Yeah.
Because they having to go back because we're Gen X, and if we had to go back, because this was going back for me, if
What
we
do you
had to
mean
go
by that?
back,
What do you mean by
because
that?
because Gen X had the who were the people above Gen X? Boomers.
Uh Baby boomers. Uh-huh. And then after before baby boomers, the silent generation.
Okay, so yeah, further on back, yeah. So so see, the further you go back, it's getting silenter. They even call it silent.
Yes,
Because
yeah.
there was more fear the further you go back with us. There were some aunties and mamas who told it like a TI is, but in that generation before Generation X, it was a lot of quietness with them too.
That's right.
A lot of shame for talking about this. But we saw it. I saw all the hotness on Soul Train
Yes, we
and,
did.
and, and all of that, baby. I saw it on all them shows they watch with Pam Grier and all of that. So y'all would acting like y'all don't want to tell us, but we watch you watching.
No,
We
Karen,
watching you watching these sensual women on TV.
let's get more specific. How about we were the children that saw the hypocrisy? We saw mama and daddy stepping out. We saw Deacon so and so coming over to Auntie's house after church.
Yeah, and that was, but we were part of the generation too that they told us to get out of here because grown people in here talking, or hush your mouth and don't be repeating nothing you say, and my business stay in my house and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, and so
Hmm.
we didn't talk about it much either. So if we were impacted and had our eyes bucked because we seeing the hypocrisy, just imagining what Generation Y or Z or whoever it is that's coming up right now, whoever's in the 21s and everything and younger than that, baby, they not and they will tell you.
Yeah.
Some of them might tell you. My grandbaby is 4, and she got nerve to put her hands on her hip now and try to stand her ground. And I mean, I'm trying to laugh in her face, and I do appreciate and respect that she's standing her ground. I just let her know that you can't talk to grandma like that.
Right. Hmm.
Okay, can't do me. But yes, there
Child,
is a
here
big
I am.
difference. There we go.
Yes, child.
It's
These
okay.
technical, we be
Uh-huh.
blowing.
And these miracles gonna get through some kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, yeah, it was tougher for us. I wish that my mom had been freer. I'm the middle kid in my family, and I might be considered the one that got in trouble the most, or the black sheep. And I wished my mom could have been. And I had some auntie. I mean, I had friends who had grandmamas and aunties who talk a lot of smack and say some stuff. It was rough, and they cuss you and they talk any kind of way down the south, but they telling you some truth. And especially about some men or something. You know how them women tell you, baby, let me tell you. I don't care what your mama say, but you listen to this here. I like them. I like
Well,
them.
I know I grew up seeing them say one thing. I remember, and my mama
Hmm.
would tell you that she said this. So when I first left college, I went into the Nation of Islam, and there's no sex before marriage. And so some of y'all judgmental people who watch and don't say nothing, y'all can't tell me nothing about no religion, because I lived it. I sacrificed diet, dress, all kind of behaviors. I didn't even know that people in the church was having as much sex and freaky this and freaky that, because I didn't come up in that world. My people were spiritual. We went to church, but they wasn't overly religious, thank God. So I grew up multilingual. But my mother said, when I told her, when I was getting married so soon, she said, "So you ain't gonna you ain't gonna try you ain't gonna try the cow." I said, because the message is, don't get you don't get what is how does that
Don't
saying go?
don't
I've
don't
been
buy the
waiting.
cow before you try the milk.
Yeah, yeah. So my mama said, you ain't gonna buy the cow.
Ooh, I
It said
love it.
you getting the milk. You don't know what you getting. And I was like, no, mom, I'm not doing that.
Wow.
She was like, good luck with that, baby.
And you still stuck with it, girl? Your mama gave you permission?
Yes. I wasn't yeah.
Hey, when mama say something, it's bona fide, baby. That's the law. I'm just saying that. I mean, I was the kid that needed that. My brother and sister, they're a lot more conservative than me, maybe, but I needed to hear that, like that.
Yeah, I'll
Hmm.
never forget it, honey. I was dressed in Muslim outfits, covered up, and she was like, you doing what?" So the women in my family talk like that. Go ahead, Tony.
One of the things that as I'm sitting here listening and thinking,
Your
one
sound
of
is
the things
distorted.
that is distorted.
Hmm.
Okay,
Gotta have something to do with StreamYard.
in the group chat.
You say you're gonna put it in the group chat? No, I
Yeah.
don't think it's StreamYard. I think what happens, because this is a studio. And
Okay.
so when you are like, I hear you loud and clearer than I've ever heard you, Karen. But when you're in a big open area, it's picking up all of the noise.
Oh, okay.
When you're driving, it's picking up all of the sound.
Okay.
So the sound has to be a little bit more isolated for this platform. Hopefully, we won't have that problem on TikTok. What's up, Natural Boo? Alafia, my love. Okay.
Hmm.
She said, Tamara's still talking. She said, this book cover is so juicy. It took me back to childhood sneaking and reading Zane books. Oh my God, I did not even think about it like that.
But
Because
better.
back in the day, I used to read Bronze Thrills. Anybody used to read Bronze Thrills?
I don't remember that time.
How you don't
Remember
y'all
that
don't
time?
know about Bronze Thrills? I know you don't know, Megan, but Gen Xers, y'all missed out, honey. Bronze Thrills.
You was
Nobody
fast
knows
then.
about Bronze
It
Thrills.
was, it was a little fast one. I don't remember this at
I
all.
was
No,
too
I'm
scared to
Generation
read.
X.
Yeah, I
I,
was too
I remember
scared to
some
read all that.
Dolomite. I remember Dolomite
Mhm.
stuff, but I don't remember that.
Bronze
Yeah.
Thrills was a book where they had sex stories in it, but it was all centered on black women and men, and it was dicey, honey. And
Go
you
to
had to
the
read it. It wasn't a Playboy or Playgirl book. You had to read it. So yeah, so my stepdad used to have a little drawer, and I used to go into the drawer and get in and read the books. I wouldn't even be interested in play. He had Playboy magazine, play, and I some every now and then he'd have a Playgirl magazine.
very
Yeah,
interesting. It's very interesting that he read a novel. Though that's just awesome. I mean, I'm serious. Because men just want to see the visual. They don't want. I mean, he was into that thing, baby.
I guess he was.
I
I
can
don't know.
respect it. I appreciate that. To read a novel because a novel can take you there. You know, I mean, I like those little $5 books at Walmart.
I wish they still made the Bronze Thrill. It was that good,
I'm gonna go look on
especially now that
Amazon.
I'm grown and juicy. So I want to hear what Tony has to say because she always drops it like it's hot. I never thought that my book would go into the category of Zane, but hey, whatever.
Is even more intimate than that. I agree with Tamara. It is. That's what I mean about sneaking. This here is some stuff. I mean, that's why I said leave it. I mean, it's saying healing. Healing is on it. That sounds holy to me.
Yes, yes.
Sacred. I mean, it just sounds like it's some more in there for you to see.
Oh no,
You
no,
know.
I'm not justified. I don't feel uncomfortable at all. That's not
Hmm.
it. But I do
Hmm.
want it to reach more people. So
Yeah.
um, so y'all, so basically what we're saying is we're going to have open discussions that flow a little bit better from segments. What we've been doing is just doing what the same way we do a rhema, and when we pray we're doing a rhema wherever the page falls.
Hmm.
And but at home, if you want to just read it, you can bring whatever segment touched you or challenged you into the room on Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. We're calling it, well, I'm calling it the mother tongue
I like
because of the books that we have on the book list. The book list is up in the private group. You have a link to join the private group so that we can have, sometimes we'll have after show discussions. Tony's goal also is, she said that the mother wound is such a complex topic that when we get to the mother wound, it will make it processing it a little bit easier. So she's going to have some sidebars just to process some of the heavy hitting topics that really y'all don't know how fortunate you are to be awakened. A lot of women still are processing the mother wound, the daddyless daughter syndrome, and how it has affected their relationships, their parenting, and just their womanhood in general. So Tony wants to lead a special support group for that in the private community as well. So, but this, we're going to launch the conversations so that we can reach to more sisters. So we want to invite you to get the book and join the discussions. Do you all have a segment that you want to read or refer to, or anything you want to close with? I don't want to belabor the
Well,
point.
I definitely want to. I wanted to do this last night, but since it's a kickoff and we're here on YouTube, I wanted to read the back of the book. So
Okay.
this describes what this is about.
Okay.
So I'm gonna read the whole the title: "My Juicy Rebirth: A Journey to Healing the Feminine Through Pleasure and Sacred Process." The juicy journey is the integration of spiritual and sensual transformation. The juicy journey is activated by a woman's choice to use the messages of her life, her womb, and her unapologetic desires as a tool. Juicy spirit is a process where women integrate the sensual, spiritual, and sweet, sacred, succulent into any part of their lives that is demanding their attention. The sisterhood is a community of women holding a sacred space for women celebrating one another's unfolding on purpose, passion, and pleasure. Being juicy activates a woman to hydrate herself so that her juices can flow toward her the dry places in her life. It is, so this is from the author, Dr. Latanya. It is my heartfelt intention to invite, confirm, and provoke your atonement of yourself with your higher self, which includes your sensuality. It is never too late or too soon to start leading with your divine feminine energy to become a spiritually aligned, successful woman. As you read through this book, you will hopefully become more aware of how your feminine energy operates and will start seeing how great the juicy journey can be.
Wow.
That's what's in here. So it's so we see. I didn't hear it. Ain't talking about just some vulgar stuff. So it ain't quite Zane, but it'll get you to Zane. It'll turn you into Zane. But okay, but like reason why, because pleasure. I point pleasure out. I want to say pleasure because it's not said enough. Pleasure. And what I've learned here is how important it is, because how many women of all nations, of all nationalities, complain about I do everything for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and so we do it. And so really our so-called pleasure is becomes your duty.
Mm-hmm.
Pleasure for me was the duty. I got to make sure I rest enough because it must be this time. What is that? I did it already Tuesday. It's Thursday already. I'm just saying we that, so that's none of that. And when you get married, am I lying? I mean, I'm not married now, but I'm just saying. And if after you've worked 13 hours, you would rather get the foot rub instead of have to do that, but it's the duty. So the pleasure has been taken out of it. And without the pleasure, there's no fun.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The fun, the pleasure, you get some pleasure, whether it's eating something good. You be ready to bounce, boy. You get something good. You eat something, some heavy greens and some cornbread and some beans and stuff. Now it's gonna be good, but you're gonna be a little slow. So it was no such. Some pleasure, too much pleasure ain't good for you. But I'm just saying the pleasure was absent.
Yeah.
The feminine has become. If you say feminine, then it's going to be associated with feminine. Feminine. What's the feminine
Oh,
women's lib thing?
well, yeah,
Feminist.
it's
Hmm.
associated either
Feminist.
with feminism or being sexy. People think that sensuality is about being sexy or
Mhm.
or luring someone in with some type of manipulation. However, that's such a miseducation from patriarchy. It's
Yeah.
intended to miseducate us about our
Mhm.
feminine nature and power so
Yeah.
that we can disassociate with it through also miseducated religion. So
Yep.
if we've been fed miseducation about God, we're gonna be fed miseducation about the woman because she is the one who is the first teacher of every child, male or female. So if she's miseducated and then she begins a miseducation journey, then through religion, then now you've evoked fear because now you have this thing. Well, I don't want to not please God. I don't want to lose favor with God. And so how can you lose favor with the God that gave you 8,000 nerve endings that the creator designed for pleasure? You were designed with 8,000 nerve endings. Those nerve endings represent
Mhm.
your ability to call on your desire to pull down strongholds and lift up the same. Go ahead, Tony.
Mhm.
Look, it's so powerful, man. I just I agree with you. It's all the in the nucleus of control, right? It's all about controlling us to not speak, to not step out, to not stand in our power. And if we go along with that, that's why this is so important, because we are releasing people from their regular patterns.
Ashe.
We are giving them the code, like you used to say, cheat code, to live out loud, live without regret, live without conformity, to
Mm-hmm.
live.
Mhm.
So as we go through this book, we're going to break down barriers where people are going to start to see themselves. Because I think that is the hidden part. People don't know who they are. They don't see themselves. They go by what people tell them that they are and how people describe who they are. I've learned that projection is a very powerful tool. Oh,
Yeah.
you think you all that. But you know what? I do. Thank you. But in most cases,
people go the opposite way of it and say, well, no, I don't. And then they try to defend that they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
look, I am advocating not only for the women, but I'm advocating for myself. I'm advocating for my soul. I'm advocating for the mother within me. I have the power to take the targets off the backs of our men and our boys. I have the
Ashe.
power to call anything that I want into what I need. But I
Ashe.
have to understand who I am in order to do that.
Right.
Yes. That's good. That's good right there.
Mhm.
Woo. I
It is.
love hearing y'all talking. Like last night, hearing you all talking, I literally was just like, okay, all right, God, that's the season I prayed for. I
Hey,
don't because
the pandemic kind of got in the way.
yeah, I've already done this. So it's it now
Mhm.
it's there's some other
I
things that
think
I'm being called to do. But go ahead.
I think last night what I saw was a it was a we eulogized all of the things that you have done to the point where some of them you couldn't even recall and remember. But we gave you your flowers in a moment to say it is not done, it is not over. There's a resurrection and a rebirth that's happening, and it's needed, and we're here for it. And if you are not going to stand completely in it, we're going to stand in it with you. That's what I felt. I felt like we were calling something that you said, oh, go put that in the back of the closet, like going to your grandmother's house and playing in her closet and her wigs and her jewelry. We're pulling all that stuff out. And we were saying, no, look, TT, look at this, look at this. And he was like, oh, girl, that's so old. I need to rewrite this. And we're like, rewrite. It's alive right now.
It is.
It's a
It
living
is.
thing.
It
Yes.
is.
There's
I
no
did
You,
I
you,
did
rewriting.
you
set
go
that.
back in and you're gonna.
If
I
you're
know
gonna
I'm
do a
gonna
part
see some
two,
more.
that's fine.
I'm going to read it again because I know it's gonna say something. It's gonna what it's gonna say to me now with my even juicier ears now.
Yeah.
I
What's
didn't
it
even
gonna
think
What's
about
it
it.
No,
gonna
it's
tell
not
me
juicy
for now?
now.
What's it gonna tell me today on this miraculous day that you said it is? What's it gonna tell me today?
You know what? That's funny because I always say juicy meet you in any season. Because the person who experiences rites of passage, there are people who have taken rites of passage 3 times because when they first their consciousness was just accepting the awakening. But then after you're awakened, now you get real focused about, oh, I see this part of my life is dehydrated. So they come back with a new mind. So Juicy meets you in whatever season you're in. This is not this is and honestly, I'm telling you, it's nothing but the divine mother who set it up like that. I wasn't saying let me set it up like this. It just happens. Now the format has changed because things have changed. In this iteration of the Juicy She Rose, I don't know those of you who are juicy butterflies who are watching in the comments. Tony is a juicy butterfly. Bessie is a juicy butterfly. Shout out to the juicy butterflies. Spirit did clearly communicate that that season was complete.
Yeah,
That this
juicy.
is
Juicy is a movement.
yeah, that this season is about the women who
It's
are rising in standing in the call for their family, for their feminine, and for their finances. And that takes a woman who's willing to go
mm,
on the heroine's journey, the she rose journey. And the thing is, it juicy named itself. I was searching on renaming it, and literally as I was working and where it fell out, like it's been here the whole time. I've been talking about the juicy she rose journey and didn't realize I was saying she rose. She named herself. I can't. Do y'all understand when I say she named herself?
yes,
Like I was
yes.
looking, searching, like what is it? Ask. I waited a whole year and a half while I was down in my priestess initiation year. Then I didn't rush back into it. I knew it was something different, but I did. And so that's how it happens. It has to come from the divine. I don't move on juicy just on a program calendar year. I move in the season. She even set the calendar. So when women say, "Oh, I'm gonna do the next one," oh, really? I don't know if there's gonna be a next one, but it will be. It will be.
Okay, so I wrote this down as you were talking. The first thing I wrote down is juicy is it definitely meets you where you are, and it depends on your thirst level. So depending on what your soul is in need of, juicy will meet you at that point. I also wrote down the Bible is a relevant book because based on your season will determine your deliverance. And I feel like
Ooh,
that's what that book is.
oh my God! Say that again, Tony, for the people
So
in the
as they were
back.
opening, based on your season will determine your deliverance. When
Mm,
people were opening the book last night to just whatever chapter, and some people had pages turned down, as they were reading different excerpts from the book, they were explaining what it did for them in this season versus
mm,
them having it 5 years ago and never opening it for a minute. So it 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 serves the purpose of definitely meeting you where you are, but where's your thirst level? What is your soul calling for today that it wasn't calling for? What portals have been opened and ignited? That prayer this morning, I could have ran off the bus. I could have drove that bus this morning. I was on a commuter bus coming to work. And I'm sitting next to this lady and I'm like, yes, yes. And I couldn't even hold it. It was just from last night to this morning, mother came through like, yes, yes, I'm here. And I need y'all to hear me and not hear me and not only say yes, but move.
mm.
It's not just about saying yes anymore.
Yeah.
It's
Gosh.
about movement. It's about moving your feet. It's about the door opening. It's about you changing the locks. It's about movement.
Yeah.
The old keys don't work.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I love this woman.
So I give I give thanks. I give thanks for um, everything
Wow.
that has happened that has gotten us to this point. I give thanks for coming back to remind me of who I am and me going through the rites of passage and supporting children. Everything I have done has ignited my soul and has uplifted my gifts to a point that I don't recognize myself sometimes. But what I do know is that I've been called to this, and
Ashe.
this is going to be what I do.
Ashe.
So I'm excited about it. This book has to be the beginning. It has to be the foundational principles. I would not do it any other way. So let's just do it. Let's get it popping.
So, how many of you that's watching are going to join us on Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock? Megan, were you about to say something? I don't want to cut your wisdom.
Oh, I was just saying that the word that came for me out of this morning's prayer was activation. So I'm activating. I'm speaking it, I'm declaring it, but I'm activating on it. I'm not just waiting, hoping, and praying. I'm activating on it in calling that in. And when you talked about the yin and the yang, we're calling that energy and that, and then the yang is coming towards that energy. That's the activation, like moving
Mhm.
on it. No
Oh,
time for sitting still.
oh, wow. Give thanks. I
Ashe.
appreciate that. Thank you all for the feedback. Because I don't know, I'm in and out of, one time I was talking to Ia, and I said something to her about I don't know. She was like, "Girl, half the time I'm in the fifth dimension." I said, "Oh, you too? I swear I am. I have to come down to deal with earthly things. I'm not saying that that's always a good thing. Sometimes that stuff ends up not paid. Sometimes I forget about what day it is. Sometimes, I'm not worried about sales. So I have to have people on my team that's pushing the sale or that making sure that I close this or close that. I really am invested. This is a ministry of pleasure for me. This is a ministry of pleasure because so many people think that ministry has to be with pain.
Mm-hmm.
that you have to come to ministry for yourself and your soul through pain. And for a long time, I attracted women who were always in pain. I don't coach pain anymore. I coach vision. I coach legacy, if I coach at all. Because right now I'm not even in that season. I truly do believe that I'm a midwife for those
Hmm.
of you who have to get your voice out. Tony has a mission and a vision where this is what you're also witnessing is feminine economic development. If I lived in Vicksburg, Mississippi, Karen would be my stylist, not just my hairstylist, but she would be my stylist because she sells clothes. This is feminine economy. And I've always held this vision when I was just starting off, because guess what? I seen it done in other communities with other people, and I wanted to see it in my community. So I just like Tony it when you align with somebody, those of you, so I told somebody this recently, and I'm gonna close. I want to share her name, but she came back and apologized to me because she got bit by a snake that I let into the community. I didn't know it was a snake. You know, if you play with reptiles, sometimes you don't know what thing is poisonous and what's not. I thought it was just another sister. And so she went off in her eagerness to and but she never engaged the negative comments or whatever. She stopped it in its tracks, but she thought, "Oh, well, I'm not talking about you. I'm not doing this." She thought that, maybe she was exempt until she got bit by the snake. And so she came back to me and she said, I didn't see why. She said, knowing that you had been my midwife, I should have looked at how you moved. You didn't, if you didn't go this way, if you didn't do this or that. She said, I'm so sorry. She said, and she said, I didn't realize that I didn't have to leave the community to build something for myself. I said, yeah. I said, why do we do that? Why do we think that we got to leave community to be and build something new and different? No, I don't do that. I still have accountability. I have an elder that if I get out of line right now with my big grown ass, people will make a phone call on me, and then I have to that's good to have, because that's also my spiritual covering. If I get in trouble, if I'm
That
in
part.
distress, my spiritual covering is gonna do ritual for me. My spiritual covering is gonna tell me where to go and where not to go. And if I don't already know, and if I already know, they're gonna align with me. So this thing of that we have to go off and not engage, not participate, it's ego centered. And honestly, a lot of women are placed in dangerous scenarios because you go into unhealthy communities with no accountability, no elders, no nothing. And so you get poor, dumb.
You're actually out of pocket.
Ashe. Ashe.
You're actually out of pocket. If you do not have the proper covering, and you are dealing in the spiritual realm with women, with children, with men, with people, and you are doing it on your own, the Bible simply says, "Lean not to your own understanding." So if
Yeah.
you don't even have an advisory board, if you don't have a covering, an elder board, where are you bouncing your stuff off of? It's all you, and it is egocentric.
Ashe.
And 9 times out of 10, it does not prosper.
Ashe. 100%. I'm so glad that I didn't lose my mind and go out in the wilderness, because being a black sheep, being a prodigal daughter or son, will have you thinking that you got to go out here and do it. And I never wanted people to think that I was riding off the coattail of my mentor. So I went and I didn't have to build it by myself, but I did. And I struggle and I slowed down my progress in some ways, because and so but thank God when I came back, my hands were clean, my mouth was clean. I wasn't out here in these streets doing crazy shit, excuse my French. So I say that to say, this is the season, particularly with Cancer being in Jupiter, where we have to reconnect to community. Now, Karen, you're gone. I think you're gone, and I'm gonna let Deidre up, and then I'm gonna close out because I know everybody has to get back to work, and this is a little bit of an extended live. Deidre, have you been watching?
No, I couldn't get in for some reason. So I apologize. I just caught the tail end.
Okay. Well, tell us why you tell us who you are and why you think we need to have this reading room that we are doing on TikTok for the summer series. Why do you think it's important for people to get juicy?
Well, I think I don't need to be wet, but just in general, you taught me that. So let me say that up front. Oh, sorry. Maybe no, this is the space for me to talk. Just be
Yeah,
okay, yeah. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to say that first and foremost. And then secondly, I think it's important for us to have an opportunity to be able to say what we want to say, speak to the things we want to speak to, and just um amplify each other as we
Yeah.
grow,
Yes.
together. And
Mm-hmm.
community, you are teaching me, is so ripe and ready and necessary for those kinds of things. And
Mm-hmm.
then on a personal note, because I get to, be with my sisters. you know, we get to be together as much as possible. So that's just on a personal level what I'm feeling.
Yes. Were you ever, we asked everybody this, were you ever resistant or reluctant to join into the juicy sphere?
I mean, that's a yes, 100%.
Okay.
I think for me, spiritually, I knew I needed to do it. I was, I won't say always. Let me cancel that universe. What I want to say is I was definitely apprehensive about jumping into new spaces, especially speaking publicly about whatever I was dealing with privately.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just never was for me, and I understand it's me, probably more than likely, but I just was never felt that safe for me. Didn't matter who was in the room.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have anything to do with gender or race. And so my experience in those types of spaces was not always a positive one. So going through the processes and working with you and being in the space with the bigs and the other sisters has allowed me to expand my healing ability within myself, to see things differently, to be more willing to have a different experience. And I don't know, I guess I can speak to this part. I mean, after the Sheroes weekend, it was like a whole, I was, man, hey, speaking my contract, I'm free. you know,
Okay.
I'm free. So, yeah. So now I look forward to all those opportunities. I can't always make each and every one, but the ones that I can, I will. And like in this case, I came in at the last minute, but it didn't matter because I'm here.
That's right. You're here.
yeah.
Doesn't she look so different? Like the glow is just next
Yes.
level. You want to tell people what you do, Deidre?
What I do professionally or just what I've
Yeah,
done to
whatever
get,
whatever you
I
want them to
mean,
know that you do professionally.
um, on a personal level, I'm still in my healing process, but with at this point, it's with Dr. Latanya and her team, which is amazing. Professionally, I am an intuitive energy healer. I work remotely with clients online, and we clear energetic patterns. We work with whatever's coming forward for them. I do some coaching with them as well. Um, all the things as
Yes.
as what I feel I'm being led to do continues to expand and unfold.
Ashe. See,
So,
healers need a space too. It's some
yeah,
heavy hitters in here, honey.
yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure,
Yeah.
for sure.
Well, Tony, I'm gonna let you close it out. Thank you all, ladies. Actually, you all are not just any average ladies. You are juicy she roses,
Come on.
juicy butterflies, and getting juicy. Some of y'all, so those of you who are ready to get juicy, drop get juicy in the comments. Get juicy this summer, because guess what? Our juiciness, our turn on, our tap being tuned in, tapped in, it is let there be pleasure on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be prosperity on earth and let it begin with me. We can calm the wars that are happening. We are the ones that can shift this energy, because Buddha already said, who was it? The Gandhi said that the West would be saved by the woman. Okay. All right, get juicy peachy pie. You got the right name to get juicy too. So thank you, Megan, for joining during your day and staying the whole time. I look forward to hearing more from you on Tuesday. Thank you, my love. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Thank you, Deidre, for coming in and sharing and dropping it like it's hot. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it as well. All right, Tony, close us out, hun.
Well, thank you for this platform, and I encourage anyone who had a leap in your belly about this reading room, the summer series, to come and join us on next week. I will say this: if you're looking for comfort, this is for you. If you're looking for somebody that's just going to appease you, this is not the space for you. But if you are ready to give birth to yourself, if you are ready to rebirth yourself, this is the place. This is where change happens. This is where impact happens. This is where the world changes because of us. So if if anything I've said makes sense to you, join us next week on TikTok for our series, The Reading Room, and make sure you get your book.
Tony is Tony LaRae on TikTok. And of course, I am Rebirth with Latanya on all platforms. So make sure that you join. You have to have a profile picture. I would encourage you, if you're creating an account, to join. Then you need go comment on some of the people that you follow, so TikTok can
Engage.
know that you're not a bot. TikTok works different than any of the other platforms, where you get access based off of engagement and participation. So you can't come and just be a voyeur. The other thing is, we are only letting sisters up in the beginning from the community. So we do want you to be there and be able to be an ambassador, a messenger, not for Juicy, y'all, for the Divine Mother, for women breaking free around menopause, relationships, and any parts of the mother wound that show up. And we do have books that address all of this. So thank you for joining today on this amazing, miraculous day. Go ritual today. Even if you don't know how to ritual, if you're scared, I'm multilingual. I'm spiritually multilingual. Inbox me. If you need it the Catholic way, I'll give it to you the Catholic way. If you need it the Baptist way, I'll give it to you the Baptist way. If you Buddhist, if you're African traditional religion, holla at your girl. No limits over here. And I want to help you take the limits off of yourself. I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. I'll see you all on the other side.